Our featured guest tonight has lived an almost imaginable life. Born in Riga, Latvia, USSR, his diligent early work saw him make a splash in the theater world of the Soviet Union, but he found his real dreams come to life upon immigrating to the United States, where he's lived one of the most remarkable film careers you could imagine, earning himself acting roles as a beloved sporting actor alongside some of the best in the business, from Robin Williams to Sean Connery to Harrison Ford to Gary Oldman, and most recently in the much anticipated movie Reagan, featuring Dennis Quaid. Here to chat about his incredible life and career is none other than Elya Baskin. Ilya, welcome to the show.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I'm now not one anybody other. I'm Elya Baskin.
It just seems odd to me. Well, it seems to me that the odds of your career and life turning out the way it has had to be really, really small. Yet here we are all these years later, having acted in, I think, over 114 productions. It's just incredible to me. Given the odds, I'd kind of like to try to piece your story together from the beginning. Born in Riga, Latvia, USSR in 1950, you were born in one of the most tense eras of modern history. What was it like for you growing up?
Actually, growing up, wherever you live, when you're young, when you have so much energy, life is fun. And I mean, it was, even we called it a huge prison, but it was very, very big. I'm talking about the Soviet Union. So there were a lot of roads you could take and a lot of places you can visit and inside the Soviet Union. And that's how my life was. Very, very entertaining, very, and about beating all odds. That was always thing that people were saying to me, "Oh, don't try to, don't go into acting because there's so many people who want to do it, and the odds of you to make it, it's so slim." But nevertheless, it never stopped me. I loved what I was doing. I loved the art, and I was pursuing it.
Where, or should perhaps I better ask, when did your artistic side first appear?
It's very hard to. I think I think it was because I was in love with a girl that was going to the amateur theater, and before that, I didn't even just think about it. It was so far away from where I wanted to go. I liked all kinds of transportation, like railroads and cars and airplanes, and that's where I thought my life would lead me. But then there was this girl that I was in love, and she was a member of a small amateur theater group. And another friend of mine who was in this group, he told me that if you join, you'll have a chance to know this girl better. So that was the first thing. I went to this amateur theater, and there she was. She never looked at me. I was like another piece of furniture. But that was my first try on stage, and all of a sudden I felt this sensation that I never expected to feel. It was so wonderful, and nothing happened of this relationship, but my relationship with the theater continued until this day.
Now, my understanding is that to be accepted into university to become an actor was a big deal and rare in the USSR, right? So how did that happen for you?
Yeah, the thing, I'm talking about 70s, and it's very different now. But at that time, to become an actor, you had to graduate one of the theater colleges, and there were like theater colleges. It's 4 years school, and the most prestigious ones were in Moscow or Leningrad. There were like 6 altogether. So a lot of people from the whole country, more than 150 million people, and everybody who dreamed to become an actor, they went to either Moscow or Leningrad to audition to try to get into these schools. And as I said before, everybody, my relatives, my friends said, "Oh, forget it. You're kidding, I'm an actor." you like do the amateur thing and just go and find something real to do. And I was stubborn, and thank God my parents didn't stay, weren't uh, make didn't make it difficult for me. So I went to Moscow, and I saw those enormous amounts of people who were attempting to. There were like 1 to 3 odds, and it scared me. I'll be honest with you. When I saw all those people, I thought, "Oh God!" I mean, my friends and my family—they're probably right. But still, I went in, and I was very lucky. And maybe I don't know, but I got into the school from the first attempt, and that's how my journey started.
At what point does thoughts of coming to the U.S. pop into your head? I mean, did you ever dream becoming an actor might pave the way for you to come to the U.S., or was that not even in your imagination at that point?
Just the opposite, David. It was, you see, Latvia, even it was a part of the Soviet Union, there were a lot of people who became Soviets only after 1940, including my parents. Before that, they lived in the free country. And that's why the atmosphere in my family was very anti-Soviet. I mean, nobody liked the government, nobody liked the lifestyle. And I mean, it's a communist country. They tell you what to think, what to do, where to go, and where not to go. And I was sort of raised in this atmosphere. And when the first opportunity came, and that was what's the senator's name? Scoop Jackson, when he made a deal with the United States about letting the Jews go in exchange for trucks or whatever, or grain or whatever they needed. And then the first people in the beginning of 1970 started to leave. And it was a gamble because you never knew if they let you or not. But while you were applying to leave, you declare yourself as, they called it, a traitor, which they still do, even now. From what I know, the people that leave Russia, emigrate on other country, is still in Russia. Even it's not a Soviet Union, they call those people traitors. I mean, I know so many people from England who work here, and nobody in England thinks about calling them traitors, or from Italy. But in Russia, it's still very, very like graved in stone tradition. If you leave the country, you're a traitor. So yeah, and I was one of the first ones who applied because of what I heard from my parents. Life was much better outside of the Soviet Union. And that was when I thought, I mean, will I be able to do what I wanted to do all my life, to be an actor? And it was a scary thought because I didn't know the language. Was going to a totally different world, but then I was weighing what's more important in life, to be free or to be an actor. I mean, it's nice to be both, but but freedom was like number one choice. And I applied, and fortunately, again, I was let go. Maybe they didn't like my acting, I don't know, maybe something else, but they let me go. And in March of almost 50 years ago, I boarded a plane to Vienna, and the journey was through Italy. And when they were vetting me for about 6 months, making sure I'm not a spy or not, and they let me in, and then that's how I ended up in Phoenix, Arizona.
And when your plane finally touches down in the U.S., what memory sticks out to you the most about those first moments, those first days in the States? And also, how much English did you speak when you got here? I'm wondering whether it was easy or hard for you to get your first jobs once you got here?
I was studying English in school, but I wasn't the best student. I mean, only basic things like where is the post office and how much is this loaf of bread or whatever. I mean, it was very limited. But let me go a little bit back. Before the first free country that I stepped my foot on was Austria, Vienna. And I thought, okay, I saw those beautiful cars, beautiful stores and everything. And I thought how happy I would be. I can buy all the chewing gum I want. And I mean, it was very hard to get in the Soviet Union. And strangely enough, I felt depressed. I felt depressed because I was 25 years old. And while you were 25 years old, you made some kind of a life back in your own country. Your friends, and by that time we knew that we were leaving for good. I mean, there's no way back. They wouldn't let us back. And that was all of a sudden I remember being very much in the blue. I mean, very much down because I understood that I lost a very important part of my life.
It had to be lonely too, because if you don't know anybody and you don't, right?
Yeah, but you make new friends because I wasn't alone who was on this plane. There were other people, some of them my age, some of them we became friends. And during the immigration, few of them were still friends, few of them already passed. So but the thing that you lost part, I mean, quarter, but big chunk of your life you left behind, and you'll never have any chance to see it. I mean, it's or to be in touch with. That was kind of sad. And then when I came to the US, it was a little easier because I spent, as I said, 6 months in Rome, in Italy. Depression went away, and there are so many new things that the ex-Soviet person could only dream of were like very much available, and we had a little money to do a little travel, and I went to Florence, I went to Venice, and so when I came to my first impression was when I left the plane that I couldn't breathe because they didn't have those corridors that you go from the plane directly to the terminal. You had to go down the stairs. And I remember it was July, and it was Phoenix, Arizona. And when the door opened, I was, where is the air? Yeah, and that was my first impression. But then I was met with wonderful people who made me feel very comfortable. They already rented an apartment for me. It was in a building that was constructed like maybe 6 months before I moved in. Everything was brand new. It was a studio apartment, but it was more than I could dream of. And the refrigerator, they filled the fridge in. For some reason, they knew I loved bananas, so it was like a lot of bananas.
That's